The text arrived at 6:14 p.m. I remember because I stared at it for almost 10 minutes. It came from my younger sister, Rachel, 3 simple sentences. Hey, we can't have you at Christmas this year. Hope you understand. Love you, love you. The phrase felt almost insulting. I read it then again, trying to figure out what I had done. Had I offended someone, missed something, started an argument I couldn't remember? Nothing made sense. For 37 years, Christmas had been sacred in our family. No matter what happened during the year, everyone showed up. Always, yet suddenly I wasn't invited. I called Rachel, no answer. I called Mom, straight to voicemail. I called Dad, he answered, but sounded strangely nervous. Maybe it's better this year. That was all he said, maybe it's better this year. The sentence haunted me. Christmas morning was quiet, painfully quiet. No family breakfast, no gifts, no children running through the house, no laughter, just silence. I tried pretending it didn't bother me, ordered takeout. Watched movies, cleaned the apartment, anything to avoid thinking about it. Around 9:47 p.m. my phone buzzed, a message from my nephew, or at least it was supposed to be. The photo had clearly been sent by mistake. I opened it. And my stomach dropped. The entire family sat around the Christmas table, smiling, laughing, opening presents. Everyone was there: Mom, Dad, Rachel, her husband, my cousins, my aunt, my uncle, even relatives who lived in another state. Everyone, except me. The rejection suddenly became real. They hadn't canceled Christmas, they had canceled me. The next morning I called Rachel. This time she answered. I immediately asked about the photo. Silence, then excuses, lots of excuses. It wasn't my idea. Things were complicated. You wouldn't understand. The more she spoke, the more obvious it became. She was lying about something, I just didn't know what. Then she accidentally said something she shouldn't have. Grandpa wanted it this way. I froze. Grandpa. Rachel immediately stopped talking. Too late, because Grandpa had died 6 months earlier. My grandfather, Arthur Bennett, had built a small fortune, nothing flashy, just decades of wise investments, commercial property, land, stocks. After he passed away, everyone assumed the estate would eventually be divided. The lawyers had been taking months, which wasn't unusual. Large estates often take time, but now something felt wrong. Why would Grandpa's name suddenly appear in a conversation about Christmas? I started asking questions, quietly. The answers began appearing almost immediately. One cousin accidentally mentioned a meeting, an aunt mentioned paperwork, a family friend mentioned lawyers, and slowly the truth emerged. My family had known the contents of Grandpa's will for nearly 2 months. I was the only one who didn't. A week later I met with Grandpa's attorney. He looked surprised. Your family never told you. Told me what? The attorney frowned, then opened a file. Inside sat a copy of Grandpa's final instructions. The room suddenly felt smaller. My hands started shaking. Because Grandpa had left me something significant, not money, control of the family trust. A trust worth nearly $12 million. According to Grandpa's instructions, I would become sole trustee upon his death. Not Rachel, not Dad. Not anyone else, me. The attorney continued speaking, but I barely heard him. Suddenly everything made sense. Christmas, the silence, the lies, the exclusion, they weren't rejecting me. They were trying to pressure me, manipulate me, punish me. Before I even knew what I had inherited, 2 weeks later I invited everyone to dinner. Every single person came. Interesting. Apparently I was welcome now. The mood felt awkward, nervous, forced. Eventually Rachel asked the question everyone wanted answered. So, what happens with the trust? There it was, the real reason they were sitting at my table. Not family, money. I looked around the room, the same people who couldn't have me at Christmas. The same people who lied. The same people who excluded me. Now suddenly they wanted a relationship again. Amazing how wealth changes priorities. Then I pulled out a sealed envelope. Grandpa's final letter. One nobody had seen before, not even the lawyer. Grandpa had instructed it be delivered only after the trust transferred. I opened it and began reading. The room became silent. The letter wasn't about money, it was about character. Grandpa wrote that he chose me because I was the only family member who never asked him for anything. The only one who visited without wanting something. The only one who treated him like a grandfather instead of a bank account. Then came the final sentence. If they suddenly become interested in you after my death, you'll know exactly why. Several people lowered their eyes. Rachel started crying. Dad looked ashamed. Because Grandpa had seen everything years before I did. People expect revenge stories to end dramatically. Mine didn't. I didn't cut everyone off. I didn't destroy anyone. I didn't take everything. I simply created rules, strict rules, transparent rules, fair rules. Every distribution required documentation. Every request required approval. Every decision required accountability. No exceptions, not for Rachel, not for Dad. Not for anyone. The trust survived. The family survived, barely, but something never fully returned, trust. Once people show you who they are, you can't unsee it. Ending last Christmas, 5 years later, Rachel invited me again. This time she called instead of texting. When I arrived, she hugged me longer than usual. Then she quietly said, "I'm sorry, not for Christmas, not for the trust, not for the money, for making me feel unwanted, and for the first time in years." I believed her. Sometimes the most painful part isn't being excluded, it's discovering why, and I'll never forget that it all started with 3 simple sentences. "We can't have you at Christmas this year."